Kevin Lee versus Charles Oliveira. I don't know why I don't start betting on Charles Oliveira. I always think that he's not going to be able to pull it off. As a tall, skinny fighter that's had success, you'd think I would put more stock in other tall, skinny fighters, but I don't. It must be because I'm scared of the short, stocky bruiser build. So when I see people like Charles Oliveira going up against people like Kevin Lee, I see my own kryptonite. I see my own weaknesses possibly within Charles Oliveira, and I normally give the nod to the bruiser. Charles Oliveira was throwing very, very conscious combinations, and I could tell that Kevin Lee was trying to get into a similar mindset, a similar flow that he achieved with Gregor Gillespie, but Charles Oliveira was just too long. Kevin Lee was waiting for Charles to throw the first punch, but the issue was that Charles was doing a good job of throwing the first punch, getting his head off center line just a little bit. He didn't have too much head movement, but head movement off center line just a little bit, just enough, and then continuing on with the 3 or 4 strike combination. Kevin Lee was throwing one strike within that combination and then getting hit with combinations as he was attempting to reset and leave the pocket. Well, what does that mean? If you've been watching me for a long time, you've heard me talk about the soft reset numerous times. I've talked about I broke down the soft reset best probably in my one mistake that Robert Whitaker made against Israel Adesanya video. His one mistake, as well as one of Kevin Lee's mistakes, was attempting the soft reset. Now, what is a soft reset? A soft reset is where you and I are fighting, right? And boom, 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 we hit each other, and then all of a sudden my combination's over, we break apart, and then we re-engage. So that's a soft reset. A hard reset is where I throw my combination, get my head offline, and then come back in with something else. But in the manner of which they do that is very important. Kevin Lee was attempting a soft reset, which means that after his combination, he's hoping and expecting and acting as if he's going to be able just to leave the pocket for free, as if Charles Oliveira is going to agree, okay, we are going to break here. We are going to reset here. I am not going to throw any more punches here. Kevin Lee was attempting to reset after these combinations, but Charles Oliveira was not. Charles Oliveira was following him out of the pocket, striking him while he was leaving the pocket. This is called a hard reset. It's where someone tries to reset on you after a combination, boom, boom, boom. They go to pull out of the pocket, but you don't let them. You continue to follow them. Now, of course, there are tactics, tricks, and techniques to catch people leaving the reset. Like what most people like to do is, most people like to circle to their rear leg. They go actually in a circle. So what you can do is if you can set up your footwork to cut off the cage for them, possibly when they have to make their forward ascension around the cage, around the octagon, you can cut them off, use their own momentum against them, and run them into your power strike. These are just little reset techniques. So Kevin Lee was hoping for the soft reset in there, which also means that he let his guard down. He took a breath. One of the main reasons actually why Nate Diaz and Nick Diaz beat people up is not because of the sheer damage from the accumulation of strikes, but when someone's punching you, you can't breathe. If you're not exhaling as you're getting punched, if you're not exhaling while you're going, getting punched and punching really disrupts your breathing. So when you're exiting the pocket, hoping to get that first, but all of a sudden you go, and you're getting struck, you are not able to catch your breath, catch your wind, catch your momentum like you're used to doing, like you would be in sparring, for instance. In sparring, there's a lot of soft resets. We come in, we engage, we exit the pocket clean, we enter the pocket back again clean. Not when it's abused in fights. My brother Levi is going to be fighting, hopefully if coronavirus doesn't ruin it, at the end of this month. And since his opponent's not smart enough or intelligent enough to come learn the actual true techniques in mixed martial arts from this channel, I'm just going to go ahead and tell it to you. Levi is going to abuse the soft reset. He is going to abuse this individual circling hard to his lead leg. He is going to abuse simple tactics that people may know in theory, but actually in that cage and exploiting those things, they just go back to square one. Rule 1. Bite down that mouth guard, close your fist, and throw it. When you abuse those soft resets, it tires your opponent so much faster than you can imagine. It also gives them a sense of panic, because when they think they're safe, they're not. Then you begin to let them soft reset a couple times, give that little break to them. Once they feel comfortable again, boom, they get cracked again. Charles Oliveira was doing this to Kevin Lee all night long. Kevin Lee was tiring out. Kevin Lee also, after getting hit with multiple different strong strikes, you could see it in his eyes. Something changed. I don't like speaking for the mentality or the thought process of professional, true professional mixed martial arts, because to be a professional mixed martial arts, all you have to do is fight professionally. There's no golden standard. There's no requirements. There's no test that you have to go to. There's no litmus. You go to the commission. Actually, you don't even go to the commission. You go to a promoter. You contact a promoter. And instead of typing, "Hello, sir, Mike Goodwin with Caged Aggression Mixed Martial Arts. I would like to fight amateur." No, you say, "I would like to fight professional. My record is this." And if he has half a mind to, he'll match you up. You have that first fight. You are now a professional fighter. You can no longer fight amateur and striking combat sports again. You are now a professional fighter. I'm talking about true professionals. Kevin Lee, for example. But it looked like we saw a little bit of a break in that mental. Charles Oliveira is also one of these individuals that I do not believe came into mixed martial arts being a very good striker. I believe that he was a very fluent Jiu-Jitsu practitioner, Jiu-Jitsu player. But he didn't have the striking attributes of, say, the striking specialist in the mixed martial arts. I don't know about you guys, but I think he's there. Coming out with jumping switch front kicks to the face, mixing it up, staying in the pocket, staying calm. As a tall person to stay calm in the pocket with Kevin Lee, a tall, skinny person with that kind of build to stay calm in the pocket with Kevin Lee, that's the kind of craziness we saw out of Joanna Jacek and Zhang Weili. It's another one of those fights. There wasn't a single soft reset that entire fight. Nothing was free for those women. The ultimate Zhang Weili, Joanna Jacek breakdown coming up. I promise you do not want to miss this. I've never put more effort into a video than I have this one. Stay tuned. And the lead up to this video, I was actually trying to think, who else has done it? Who else has been a fluent jiu-jitsu practitioner and then transitioned to mixed martial arts and then throughout their career learned a high level and achieved a high level of striking? I would say GSP, but I guess GSP wasn't necessarily a jiu-jitsu practitioner. He was mainly a grappler, but that's what he was, a grappler. We're not talking grappling, we're talking jiu-jitsu here. So the only one that really comes to mind, you can't really say Fabricio Verdum either. The only ones that really come to mind, possibly Jacare Souza, given the fact that he's knocked out Derek Brunson twice with head kicks. But the only true one that I can think of, and if you can think of others because of my sleep-deprived brain, please help me out here. Gilbert Burns. A lot of you guys might not know Gilbert Burns, but he fought in the same card as Charles Oliveira, Kevin Lee, knocked out the greatest jiu-jitsu practitioner ever to compete in the world of mixed martial arts, Demian Maia, with a counter left hook. Now, this guy surprised me for a long time. I learned about Gilbert Burns a long time ago because somebody that I have mutual training partners from back from my hometown, and we actually both moved for mixed martial arts and ended up here in Denver. Austin Hubbard, in his UFC debut, was set to fight Gilbert Burns. So, of course, what do? I'm going to go study his tape. Let's see what this guy's got. I have mutual training partners of Austin Hubbard. I've seen Austin Hubbard fight, and in person multiple times. So, let me look at this. Now, first thing that jumps off the page to me, multiple-time world ADCC gold medalist, world champion, solid jiu-jitsu practitioner. All right, well, I know Austin's pretty good at grappling. He came from the Midwest. He came from the Militich tutelage of area of, if you can't grapple, you're screwed. But he's also a very, very good striker. So let me go watch some of this guy's tape. Now, when I go and I watch somebody, I go to study somebody that I don't know, that I see was a competent jiu-jitsu player turned mixed martial arts, I don't expect to go in there and see Israel Adesanya level striking. I don't go and expect to see high level striking. I go in there and I expect to see people striking, but striking to get the takedown. Ben Askren striking. I go to look up some of Gilbert Burns' tape, expecting to see that, and this guy's knocking everybody out with left hooks. Well-timed left hooks. Technical left hooks. The same one that he knocked out Demian Maia with. When I saw this, and I trust and I believe in Austin Hubbard, I got scared. I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy is not only probably has some of the most jiu-jitsu experience in this division, but he's also a ridiculous striker. Gilbert Burns is one you guys are going to have to watch out for. He has a skill set that's extremely, extremely rare. And so does Charles Oliveira. I can't think of anybody else right now, nor do I want to. I'm not going to think about it. Those are the only two that have ever done it. I'm kidding, of course. But they've done it to such a level that surprises me. Normally when you grow up within one skill set, your brain is fine-tuned for that skill set. My current roommate wrestled for 8 years. Never did mixed martial arts, never did boxing. When I got him into the gym, this man could not throw a strike. He actually fought from a wrestler's stance, which, trust me when I say, is not something that you want to do. He could not throw a proper strike because of the way that his body and his build had been fine-tuned over the years for the rule set of wrestling. It took him 2 months of training with me every single day before he was even able to have a proper fight stance and throw a proper punch. And that's no knock on him. Fantastic grappler. But when your brain gets fine-tuned to a specific set of rules or scenarios or circumstance, it changes everything. Even when you go into then other rule sets, it still remains the same. Such like if Floyd Mayweather came to mixed martial arts and attempted to block or parry a strike, and it would probably slip through because of the difference in sizes between the 4-ounce and 16-ounce gloves. The same way that I'm surprised that somebody that grew up doing Jiu-Jitsu is able to look like someone that grew up doing Western-style boxing and kickboxing and Muay Thai. That's why people like Gilbert Burns, that's why people like Charles Oliveira are so damn impressive to me. We need to be on the lookout for Charles Oliveira and Gilbert Burns in the future, and we need to seriously consider placing some money on them. Now, if you made it to this point in the video, thank you for making this on. Thank you for the likes, comments. Thank you for watching the whole thing. I'm being serious. You have no idea how much this helps me algorithmically, how much this helps me grow the channel. I sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate it. Guys, this is Nick with Combat Sports World, reminding you, no matter where you're at or what you're doing, stay combative, my friends.